beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Jennifer Diamond, and I live a whole food, plant-exclusive, sofas-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being. And today, I'm bringing you along as I make a gift for somebody, and it is going to be kale and quinoa brownies. So I am going to be bringing a gift to somebody for a special occasion, and they are not whole food plant-based. They are standard American diet. And so I was trying to figure out something, because it's a gift, what could I bring or make that they would really enjoy? And so I came up with this idea of a kale and quinoa chocolatey brownie to make. And so I thought I would bring you along. Let's make it together. If you are trying to lose weight or heal, I wouldn't really recommend this, but if you're looking for something to share with others that are at the beginning of their journey, or a holiday or whatever, anyhow, this might be your go-to. And so the first thing I want to do is talk about the quinoa. And I went ahead and I used some quinoa that I got from, I get this one from Costco, but you can get any quinoa. This is an organic quinoa, and quinoa does come in a variety of colors. You can see that this one here in the bowl is a white color, and you can get tricolor in regular grocery stores that sell quinoa. And so I really like the idea of getting a multicolor, but today we have the white. And so what I did was I have had it soaking in water, and you want to soak it for minimum, say, a half an hour, up to 2 hours, and you can even soak it overnight. But I was unable to soak it overnight, and so I've been soaking this for about 30 minutes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain it in here and rinse it really good, and I'm going to do that over the sink. Give me just a minute. Okay, so we've had it drained, rinsed, and I just kind of want to look around in here and make sure there aren't any little hard, rocks or stones or anything in there that isn't the quinoa, because in the process, it can happen. You could get little pieces of something, just like in beans or lentils. So you just want to kind of check it out, and then you're ready to go. So I'm going to just pour some more excess water. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start collecting everything, and we're going to put it in the food processor. I am using the Breville 16-cup food processor. I just love this food processor. It has so many amazing features, and it even has this guy right here, which is an insert for a smaller amount, and all kinds of blades. And anyways, I've got the S blade in here, and I'm just going to move this over and plug it in, and I'm just going to open this up, and I'm going to start feeding ingredients right in here. So we're going to go ahead and put that in here, the quinoa, and that looks good. And then we are also going to start putting some other ingredients in. So I have peanut butter that I'm going to be using. Now, you could use almond butter, sunflower butter. You can use any butter that you want. I recommend using a peanut butter that just is made from peanuts. And so it's really important. Now, peanut butter or almond butter or any butter is going to be a higher fat content. And so if that's a concern of yours, you can always use peanut butter powder. And I meant to bring some out to show you. I received some as a gift. I've never even opened it yet, but I can show you what that looks like. Let me just do that. But we're gonna actually use peanut butter. And I happen to have I had this peanut butter. It's a freshly ground right there. The store does it, and so you can do a peanut butter. I also have an almond butter, and anyone will work. So let me put this guy in here. And then I'm also just gonna grab the peanut butter powder so that you could see it. And I think maybe in the future, I'll play around with what that is. I know it gives you the peanut butter flavor without all the fat. And so, 1 second. Yes, this is a gigantic container that I got as a gift. And this one is just called Organic Naked Peanut Butter. And it doesn't seem like it, yeah, it says Organic Roasted Peanuts. That's it. So, and you could see right here that it's just a powder. So anyhow, that's an option if you wanted. But like I said, we're gonna go ahead and give it a little bit of the fat. This person will really enjoy that, I hope. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add some cacao powder, and we're also gonna add some vanilla bean powder and some baking powder. So I've got all those three in here together. I'm gonna go ahead and drop those right in. And I just wanna show you that I have a couple different cacao powders that I'm using. This one says cold pressed. This one says organic. And again, these are things that I've had that I'm just, oh, this one's also organic, that I have for special occasions. And anyways, whatever you can get a hold of, the cacao powder is really wonderful, and it gives that chocolatey flavor. And then the next thing we're gonna use is our sweetener. And our sweetener for this one is gonna be maple syrup. Now, you don't have to use maple syrup. I'm a huge fan of using date syrup or just dates. And so you could certainly do that, but we're gonna go ahead and make this extra sweet because I think maple syrup, it does have a different flavor, a different taste than dates, but it also, I think, is a higher sugar content, even though it is a natural sugar. And so making this kind of decadent today. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take 3 small, really ripe bananas. Now, if you have 2 large bananas, that should be enough. If for some reason you don't wanna use bananas, go ahead and use pumpkin puree, but make sure that it's just pumpkin. And so I'm gonna go ahead and take the skins off of these super ripe bananas and put them all in there. And when you let the bananas get this brown and this spotty and this ripe, all of the sugars, the natural sugars come out and becomes very, very sweet. And when you're baking with bananas instead of, sugars, you want it to be a really brown, really spotty banana. So then you know that that's gonna be super sweet, because if you use a banana that's a little bit green or just that bright yellow, that maybe you'd be okay just eating, it's not gonna have the sweetness, and it's not going to provide the sweetness in your dish that you're looking for. So let me get rid of this. And so the next thing we're gonna add is some plant milk. And I gotta say, you could use any plant milk, really. Any unsweetened plant milk will work. I prefer the organic. You can use soy, almond, oats, rice, any plant milk, right? But I just want to talk about this particular plant milk, and this is by a company called Joy. And I really like this company. And they have a lot of different products. I just happen to have 2 of their products right here. So this is the almond milk base. It's an organic plant milk concentrate. And I'm gonna open it and show you. And like, it's really, it's not a new one. So you can see there's some liquid in there. And I try to get some liquid as well as the paste stuff when I'm using it to measure. And it's really nice. It just says blanched organic almonds, and it's you know, put into this paste. And what you do is you just scoop out, let's see, the directions are blend 1 to 2 tablespoons of this Joy for 1 cup of water. And then you have instant almond milk. And what I really like about this is that if maybe I don't need that much, so I can measure exactly how much I need and nothing goes to waste. And I don't drink a lot of plant milk. So when I need it, it's nice to just measure the amount that I need. And we are going to go ahead and use the almond one today. But I did want to show this other one that I have, which is also by that company, Joy. And this is an organic oat milk powder. And it's just oats. And they grind it up into a powder. And so it's not even wet, you know, it's a dry powder, which I think is fantastic because it'll last a long time. Let's see if I can show this, just so you can see what it looks like, because this is the very end of it, actually. But do you see how it's just this powder? It's a very, very fine powder. And you would do the same thing, depending on how much you need. 2 tablespoons, you could do 1, but 2 tablespoons with every cup of water. And that's it. And you've got your plant milk. Now, some people are, you know, sensitive to oats. For some people, oats do cause inflammation, and I'm kind of playing with that idea for myself. And so they have so many other alternatives. You can check the link below. And anyhow, these are the 2 that I'm familiar with. So moving on, I'm going to go ahead. I put the almond milk in here. I mixed it really well. Sometimes I find that I have to mix it extra because it doesn't mix. But this time it did mix. And they do have a container, but I had this container, so, you know, I just do my shaky, and we pour it in, and there we go. So we have one more thing to add before we spin this, and it's behind me. I've been steaming, you guessed it, greens. We're adding kale to the brownies. We don't need to tell anyone that. It's just between you and I. So let me go ahead and grab the kale and we'll go from there. So I've had the kale steaming. I want to show you what it looks like. There we go. Look at this. See, so it's just steamed, and you know, I could steam it more, but I think that's really fine. Now I can just put it directly in here, but I think I might chop it up a little bit. I don't need to do that. You can literally just put it directly in here, and that would be fine. Okay, it's hot. I think just chopping it just helps it all incorporate a little easier, but because it's steamed, it really doesn't need my extra help. The machine is plenty powerful to handle it, but anyways. And we're just gonna wanna grind this all up in the food processor until the quinoa and everything is nice and blended. I'm just gonna take some quinoa off of there and get every last drop of this beautiful kale. Way to sneak your kale in, huh? Oh my gosh. So, okay, so let's get this put on top here, and we have it plugged in, and so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on, and we're just gonna blend. And if you didn't hear me, I was singing, I love a blender, ooh, I love a blender, ooh, I love to blend, to blend, to blend. Yes, it's really my personality.
Please hang up and try again.
All right, I think we are there now. Woo! Okay, so what I'm gonna do is bring over this pan. Let's see, I'm gonna rinse this a little bit. I have a 9 by 13 dish. You could do a 9 by 9 dish. This is just what I have, and I think it's gonna work fine. I'm just make sure that's what it says. It's a 2 quart, 2 liter 11 by 7 by 1.5 inches. So that's the real measurements. And I had this piece of parchment paper that I had used to cover something, and so I'm reusing it. I spread it out, I made it nice, and I'm lining it because we don't use oil. It'll just be easier to get out of the pan. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the oven on, and then we're gonna pour this in here. I'm gonna put the oven on to 350, and we're gonna be cooking this for anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven. We can check it halfway through. So let's preheat. And then we are going to take the lid off, and I want to save all the little goodies in the lid, so I'm just gonna scrape all of that in here best that I can. And it is very liquidy. That's okay. All right. And I'm gonna also now take the blade out and scrape that off. You know, I really do think that the next time I make this, I really do think that I would blend the quinoa first, because there are still some little pieces in here, and there shouldn't be. It should be blended really, really smoothly. And I almost wonder if I should pull out the blender and see if I can get it any smoother. What do you think? Is it worth the extra dish? Well, it certainly would give us some answers, wouldn't it? Okay, I'll do it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try it in the NutriBullet. So many options. I just want it to be a little bit creamier, and I think this is gonna work out. Oh my gosh, okay. So if you wanna do it the way that I did it in the beginning, go ahead and turn your quinoa into flour first. I think that's a better choice. Then you don't have to do this next step. And then I would add it with everything into the food processor. So grab the quinoa, after you soak it, you drain it, you blend it in the dry mix, Vitamix or any other container that can handle making like a flour, and then you put everything into the, I guess you could even put it in the Vitamix, or you could move it over here. Either way, I think that might be a better way to go to make it as creamy as you can. But I always like to do things with you, I like to figure this out together. I think that there's a lot to be learned together. And oh my gosh, can you believe this? Here's the max line. Don't fill it higher than this. And it's like literally a half a finger pinch below. So let me grab the base, let's mix it up and finally get it into this beautiful pan. Now, what if I didn't have this? What if I just left it the way it is? It's fine, it's fine. But I tend to like to make things more nicer, better than just fine. And so I'm willing to try it, and then we can all learn, hopefully, from some of my experiences, things that I try to make it also easier for you if you decide to try this. So here we go. This is great. Woo! I am so happy I did that, because I can tell already that it has really, really creamed it up the way that I wanted it. Oh, I'm so glad we did this together. Okay, unplugging this, moving this aside, and now we're going to pour it into the lined Pyrex dish. Oh, using my muscles in the kitchen. There was quite the seal right there, and I'm always trying to build muscle in the kitchen. And look at this. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Okay, I've got to get I'm so excited. What do I do first? I guess I'll get my favorite spatula. So yeah. But this is dripping, so let's just take care of this first. Oh, I get so excited when things work out. Isn't it great? And it's also fun to discover. And when they don't work out, well, that's okay. We just take that experience and use it to better the next experience. And there's always a lesson to be learned, right? And I try to find what that lesson is, and let it help me make a better me or a better decision or a better something moving forward. Try to find the positive in things because there's already so much negative in the world, right? So time to grab that favorite spatula. Here it is, the crooked one I love. And I love it for different reasons. Aha, preheated oven, so it's telling us, I'm gonna go ahead and pour, look at that, look at that. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. This is perfect. Creamy, delicious looking. You would never know that there's quinoa and kale in this, for goodness sake. Ah, I love it, I love it. I'm so excited. Okay, so I am just gonna continue to scrape down with this favorite scraper of mine. And I love the red ones for like big bowls and stuff, but for things that have a blade or this particular container, this goes right under. It's amazing. It's a really great tool, and it's something that's fairly new for me. I got it, a handful of months ago, and I love it, love it, love it. And I love it so much that I got it for some family too during the holidays. And it's a great gift too. Anyways, look at that. Yay! Okay, so now I'm just gonna, have it fit here really well. And I like to just trim a little bit of this parchment paper, just the edge, just because it's fine to go in the oven, but sometimes it browns a little bit, and I don't know, I just would prefer to have less browning where I don't want browning, if that makes sense. Okay, so here we go. Look at this. In the oven we go. I just put it in there, and I'm just noticing that if you look in the side here, if you could see that it's very thin. And the brownie's gonna be very thin, and I really would like it to be thicker. So I'm wondering if I put it in a smaller container, it'll thicken it up a little bit. I was gonna do this other container, but it's a little too small, and so now I'm questioning what I'm doing. What's new, right? This was the container that I was gonna use, and you know what? I feel like I think maybe one of these two containers might be better. Well, I think I'm just gonna move it over. Oh my goodness, but all I'm gonna do really is, is make a big mess. Okay, no, I'm gonna do a good job. I am going to just pull the ends up. Let's see if this works. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It worked, look at that. I was able to transition this into the smaller pan. And you know what? I think in the long run, I'm gonna be happier with the results. Now, if you double this, you could use that other pan. And what size pan is this? I'll have to measure and tell you. And then what I'm just gonna do is take the very edges and just scrape it down a little bit. And then continue to proceed the way we were. So, I'm sharing this because this is real life, and these are my real thoughts, and it's okay to pivot. It's okay to do something different, even if it's the last minute. And I thought I had planned this really well. I measured the pan, and then when I just saw it in there, I thought, oh man, I don't want my brownie to be like a little thin paper cracker. So here we go. Let's take a look now. And I think this is much better. So here we go, in the oven. And I'm putting it in the 350 oven. My oven doesn't calibrate correctly, so I actually set mine at 360. You'll want yours at 350. I put it in for 20 minutes, but I'm not gonna cook it that long. I'm gonna go ahead and check it at around the 15-minute mark and then do like 1 minute at a time until I feel like it's cooked all the way through. So, oh man, I just remembered I forgot something else. This is a bonus. You didn't really have to do this. And the thing is, we're just going to mix it in, so it's not that big of a deal. But chocolate chips. And I'm just going to pour those on top. And I'm using this brand. It's called Enjoy Life. It's a dark, nut-free, gluten-free, and it does have some sugar and cacao butter in it, but the first ingredient is unsweetened chocolate. So, you know, not for me. I'm not going to be eating that, but for this person and for anyone else, you can go ahead and put some in there. And look I'm just covering up so that they'll find little chips when they take a bite. Okay, I promise. 3 is the charm. There, let's take another look. Get it in there. Okay, so I got the kitchen all cleaned up, and we still have a few minutes on the timer there, so we're gonna check. I did peek halfway through, and it looked like it was coming along, but needed more time. So I do have a few more of these chocolate chip morsels that I am gonna put on once it comes out of the oven, but I did also decide that I was gonna try to melt a little bit of peanut butter. And so I have a little bit here. I just barely turned the fire on, and just, you know, a little blob there. And I didn't do anything to it. I didn't add anything. I kind of made this double boiler, and I'm just gonna let it come and see if I can get it to be more of a like drizzly, liquidy kind of texture. And then what I want to do is see if we can make a design across the top of the brownies. Now, you don't have to do that, but I think it's nice because then it kind of hopefully will let people know that there are nuts in there, or there's something that maybe they might want to know about. And I think it'll be a pretty color, you know, to add against the dark. Now, so I'm using the peanut. If I used almond, then maybe I would do it with almonds, or you know, almond butter, I mean, like melted and pour it. Or you could just use any nuts. You could get just regular peanuts that I would get the raw ones that are unsalted, and you could crush them up and just sprinkle a little on top. If you don't like nuts, skip the whole thing, but I think that would be nice to do, and so that's what I'm hoping to do. So let me take a peek at this. I've actually never melted peanut butter like this, so I don't know. We'll see if it works or not. Have you done this before? If so, leave a comment below. Let me know how it turned out. What kind of nut butter did you use? And did you add any water or liquid to it? I'm hoping to just be able to do it without doing that, so that I can still have the full flavor and it's not watered down. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and then you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos. And please give this a thumbs up so you can help me spread the word, and it also lets not only YouTube know, but it lets me know that you are enjoying the content and that I should continue. So thank you so much. All right, let's take a peek. Okay, look at this. It's not thinning out the way I wanted it to. It is kind of much, much softer, but I think I am gonna add a little tiny bit of water. So let me grab like a tablespoon of water out of my Berkey, and I'll be right there. And a tablespoon might even be too much, but I'm gonna just drop a drop of this, and just do it a little bit at a time. And it's kind of spilling, which is perfect, because then it's adding just a little bit. And I can always put it back on the fire. Well, I hope this works. So I've done about half a tablespoon so far, and it is starting to get really thin, but it's still not enough. So I'm gonna do the whole tablespoon. See what happens here. I think it might need a little bit more. It's getting there, much better, don't you think? Let's try a little bit more water. That might be enough. So that was about a tablespoon and a quarter. And look at that, seems like that might be enough. So it did change the color, didn't it? It made it much, much lighter and thinner. And that's great. So I'm gonna set it aside back on the stove. I'm gonna cover it and we'll check it when the rest is ready and see you know, if this still holds this same consistency. Otherwise, of course, we know that we could just add some water to it. But too much water, I think, will drown out the flavor, like I had said earlier. So hang on here. Okay. Goodness. Oh, look, everybody. Wow, that looks really good. That looks really good. Oh my goodness. Let's see if it's liquidy at all. Looks like it's pretty cooked. I'm gonna say it's done. And I'm gonna say that because when I move this parchment paper a little bit, it's not even sticking. So I don't have to poke any more holes in there. But what I am gonna do at this point is I'm just gonna take some of these chocolate chips and just sprinkle them, and hopefully they'll melt a little bit while it's cooling. And once it's melted, then I think I'll add the peanut butter that we, you know, melted behind me, and go from there. Look at that, that's really pretty. What do you think? Oh, they're already melting, so I can't really move them around, but yeah, what do you think? That looks really pretty. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, and this is a great tip also for having the parchment paper lining your pans, because I could pick the whole thing up and set it right on the cooling rack, and I don't have to worry about letting it stay in the container that it is in, the dish that it's in, because the dish is still hot, right? It was in the oven, and when it's still hot, it will continue to cook because it's still hot. So anyways, not gonna hurt. Just be careful, you know, because it is hot, and just gently pick it up in one piece, and there we go. And let me move this hot one out of the way. Oh, this is exciting. Let me get everything out of the way so that we could check this out. Oh, I am really, really excited about this and how it is coming out. And so I just want to show you. I mean, it is still piping hot. We just took it out of the oven. So if I were you, I would leave it. But I'm not you, I'm me, and I want to show you fast. So I'm just going to show you that I can pull it from the sides. That's the only thing I'm going to do right now. See? Pull it from the sides. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. So I am going to just let it cool. And it looks like it's cracking a little bit, and that's okay. That could mean that I cooked it a little too much, and that could mean that it's just soft, and you know, I'm not gonna worry about the small things. I think it looks great, and so let's set it aside and come back in about 5 minutes, and we'll be able to sprinkle, or you know, try to see if we can decorate a little bit with the peanut butter. So, all right, patience, we'll be right back. Okay, so it's been cooling, and I have this big wide spatula that I'm gonna try to take it off of the parchment paper. It's not completely cool, but I'm gonna just see what we could do here. Let's see if we could do this without damaging anything. Yay! Look at that. Look at that. Oh my goodness. This is great. Okay, so now I have it here. And I want to go ahead and get the peanut butter and see if we could just do something, and that's it. And then it's done. Okay, so, okay, let's see. This is warm, but that's okay. I'm going to move it over here and show you what this looks like. And it looks like it's thickened up a little. Yes, it has. So I don't know if this is gonna work the way I wanted it to. Let's add a little more water, darn it. I almost wonder if I should just leave it the way it is and skip the peanut butter part. And maybe crushed peanuts would be a nicer presentation. Because what I was thinking is having the fork in it and then just kind of doing that on it. Well, that might work. Should we try it? Look at that. That's kind of fun. And so you could see what it would look like. If you want to get really crazy, you could put it in one of those bags, even a Ziploc bag, a piping bag, and you could really make a nice decorative design on the top. I'm just sprinkling it, just very, very free form. Oh, come on. There you go. Look at that. That's kind of fun. So what do you think? All right, looks good. Now, I am not going to be tasting this, but I am going to just see if I could, see if it's cool enough to cut it yet. And then I'll bring Todd in and he can taste it and let you know what it tastes like. But let me see how I'm going to do that. So here we go. Let's go ahead and I'm hesitant because I really want more time to let it really cool. And we are out of time, so I'm going to have to do this anyways. And so I might just cut it like this and see what happens. Oh, well, so far so good. It's sticky like a brownie. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Wow, look at that. Into thirds. Hey, what do you think? Look at this, you guys. Let's take a peek. Look at that. It's fudgy inside, and you can see where the peanuts melted, or where the chocolate chips melted. And so let me give Todd a call in here, and let's have him taste it for us, shall we? Todd, can you come in and try this?
Hello. Hello, everybody. Oh, brownies. This is the best part of the job, I gotta tell you.
You knew we were doing brownies.
I know, I did.
Okay, so I'm just gonna cut a little sliver off. If you don't mind to try it, are you good with it?
You're gonna cut a little sliver off to take with us and I get the big part, or?
Well, I was just gonna cut a bite off for you to try it.
Okay.
Do you want a whole quarter? Go ahead.
No, let's try whatever it is you cut.
Okay, so you can pick whatever you want. The big piece, the little
I'll take
piece.
The little piece.
Okay.
Oh, it's good.
And it's still warm, right?
It's dense, it's got a good texture.
It's dense, yeah.
I see melted chocolate chips inside. My thumb is smashing some peanut sauce. Super moist. I taste a lot of banana.
Okay.
Definitely chocolate. It's really, really good. It's not so sweet that it's like, sickeningly sweet. Very dense, very moist. It's really good. It's a brownie.
So let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
If I just put these out, would you know that there's not only quinoa in them, but kale?
Would have no idea. Absolutely no idea.
Yes! So there you go, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm super excited that you were able to enjoy it and think that it's something that you're accustomed to, but really we know that there's all kinds of good benefits in here and, little ways to sneak in your greens. You know how I love greens.
I mean, literally, if you just brought this to any house, however they eat, they would never know.
So it's a win-win.
Not that you should do that secretly.
All right, everyone. You enjoy the rest of your day or night, and thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Don't forget, eat your greens. Bye-bye now.
Bye.